Hello all and welcome to Direct from Heart. We are on A Face from the Crowd. As you all know, A Face from the Crowd is all about bringing to the fore people from different professions, also those who serve the society in some way. Well, before I introduce you to our guest today, let me remind you all to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, like the video and share it as much as possible. Also, do not forget to follow us on Instagram at directfromheart.yt. Well, I have heard many people tell me that I'm very energetic. If I'm energetic, what would you call our guest today? Maybe she's an explosion of energy. And why not? She's a radio jockey, a facilitator, come leadership consultant, a yoga trainer, and a TV presenter. That's not all. She's also into social service. She's extremely vibrant, vivacious, and a little unpredictable. But most importantly, she speaks direct from heart. Let's see how Sapna Padmanabhan steals the show today. A very warm welcome to A Face from the Crowd, Sapna. An absolute pleasure to have you here. And how does it feel being on the other side of the table?
Oh my God, Swarna, thank you so much. I'm really honored that somebody as wonderful as you chose to have a chat with me. In my profession, I've always done this job of interviewing people, but it's amazing that I'm on this side. Also a bit nervous.
That happens, I know. Actually, most of my guests say that, in fact, and I have heard many of your shows also, Sapna, after getting to know you. And I was very impressed with Bangalore Brains, in fact, and the kind of guests you have on your show. Amazing, actually. You're doing really something very amazing, I should say.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, now Sapna, you are a facilitator and a motivator. You're into leadership consultancy or leadership training. You are a yoga trainer and you're a radio jockey. Yeah. I think I'm more impressed with the last one, in fact. So, how do you juggle between all these things?
So for me, multitasking always works. I have this great urge of doing different things at the same time, and many times people ask me, why are you doing so many things, why can't you focus on one thing? Especially older people, my parents or some of my older friends, they get worried. You're all over the place doing too much and too many things at the same time. But honestly, it makes me very happy. It keeps me grounded. I think that's the person I am. I like to do couple of things at the same time, and I do make time for them, and I'm very honest and earnest about doing those things.
That's wonderful, in fact, Sapna. Great to know that, because most of us find it difficult to even juggle between two things. Leave alone being so juggling between so many things. And to add to that, I also heard that you're into social service and your hobby is also trekking. So my God, it's, I think, really amazing.
But you're mentioning, even I'm wondering, oh my God, that's quite a few things to be doing at the same time.
At the same time. Seriously, it is indeed very difficult, actually. Okay, now, Sapna, the main, I think, purpose of this show is to help the youth discover themselves. Okay, to what exactly, how to pick up different professions, and what is the path, how do you go about it. So now I'm sure there are a lot of people who feel that they are good at, talking, and probably would pick up something, would like to pick up something like radio jockey. Okay, so how do you get there, actually? What is the path?
Okay, so first of all, you have to understand if speaking is your passion, if communicating is your passion. Do you like to tell stories? Do you enjoy being around people? And once you know that this is what lights you up, this is what makes you feel like, yes, I'm waking up each day and it's just amazing. Then you start doing a little bit of homework on yourself. You spend time understanding what are the topics you really love, and most importantly, what do you care for, right? So conviction is very, very important. You could start with small podcasts. You could start with having your own YouTube channel. You could pick up the first circle of your family or your close friends, and you could just have a chat with them. And then you could share these little snippets with your, larger group and take feedback, right? And once you start in a small way, when the opportunity comes, you can get there. So I'm not saying if you want to be a radio jockey, you can just walk into a radio station and say, hey, I want to be a radio jockey. That obviously that won't work.
Okay. Okay.
You could apply. You'll need to have like a proven track record, or you must have practiced, and you should be so much in confidence that when you're ready and when the opportunity comes, you are the best fit for that.
For sure, and you seem to be the best in your field too, Sapna. You sound amazing. Your voice is like so perfect for radio jockeying, I would say. And what impressed me about your program was that your guests are equally spontaneous. In fact, it's not easy actually for the guest to be prepared and be so good at speaking. Most of them get nervous and. Very difficult to be as spontaneous as you, in fact, I would say, because they almost match you.
Yeah. Well, so it's two things. One is all these people are founders and CEOs, and this is an organization a startup that they have found, and they have a story to tell, right? They have their success stories and failures to share. So they're very much in their comfort zone. Right, and also to create a space, right? Even as a presenter or a radio jockey, I also make the effort to make them feel that they can speak whatever they wish to. It's a safe place, and also a little bit of orientation. I usually tend to take them for a tour of the radio station. We chat up, we catch up on our personal lives, and then it's more like a friendly conversation.
Definitely. You are right there, actually. That building of the atmosphere makes all the difference, in fact, I guess. Absolutely. Okay, that's fantastic, in fact. Now, you said you're a facilitator. What exactly do you do there, and how does it, help people, in fact, facilitation and motivation?
Yeah, so first of all, to be honest, this is the profession I chose because number one, I'm very passionate about facilitating different topics. So I do programs on soft skills, behavior skills, leadership development, and transformational workshop. Facilitation is not just a profession to keep me busy, but it's also my not just my bread and butter. It's my cheese and jam and marmalade and everything. First of all, I enjoy it. I'm very, very grateful to God. I'm a huge believer in Lord Shiva. I'm very grateful to God that I get to do the things that I love to do, and it also pays me. Right? Because I see a lot of people feel very stuck. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is my purpose in life? Where is this all going to? Right? Every day waking up and dragging from the bed and then getting to the office is like a struggle. For me, each day I wait to wake up. When I open my eyes, I'm filled with gratitude and joy. So it's been a wonderful journey. Facilitation is really my passion. I love people.
Great, same here. I love people too, in fact, and probably that's why I'm also here. Wonderful, actually. And you don't look like you're a spiritual person. That's probably a different shade. Yeah, definitely.
How does a spiritual person look now that you're asking?
But maybe, I don't know what it is.
Right. So I'm going to become a spiritual person now. Here we go. Here comes my spirituality. Yeah.
Okay. Advice, yes, definitely. Great. Wonderful.
All my spiritual things are to my right side here, right?
Oh,
my puja is here.
Really?
I just finished my puja.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you do puja every day, Sapna?
Every single day. I was
I'm born into quite a traditional Telugu family.
That's great.
Yeah. And so in my house, every day the ritual was, even before you had breakfast, you have to take bath, light a lamp, pray, and then come and have your breakfast and things like that. So it's very much a part of my upbringing, and I enjoy spirituality, like enjoy it like nobody's business, right? I'm learning also this lockdown. I got a chance to learn a lot of shlokas. I learned Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, Saundarya Lahari. Today I started Shivananda Lahari. So all of this Sanskrit shlokas.
Wow, wonderful. So now that you have been into so many professions together, do you do everything together, Sapna? Is all at a time, or do you take breaks? How do you juggle between so many things?
No, like, I mean, obviously it's not possible to do all at a time, but I schedule my calendar very well. If I'm doing radio, I have like a day for radio. If I'm doing voiceovers, then I keep a day for voiceovers. If I'm facilitating, then facilitation takes over everything else. Like if I'm engaging with corporates, then obviously my first priority is for my facilitation and my clients, because there's a lot of planning that goes on, right? You as a facilitator, you know their schedule, they send invites, they block people's timings, and I don't want to let them down at all. So first preference to facilitation, then the next preference to my passion, which is radio jockeying, voiceover, scripting, and then something that I do every day is my fitness. There is no choice. I don't give myself any choice. I make an hour either to run or to do my yoga or to practice meditation and pranayama. That's how I prioritize. Yeah. So I'm not a great homemaker. Like I don't cook much.
Okay. Fine. Yes. I understand. I mean, it's very difficult, I think, Sapna, to do everything. You needn't really be into everything, actually. You know, when you're doing so many other amazing things, cooking will happen. So, isn't that you hate cooking,
I do
Sapna?
cook.
Not at all. I don't hate cooking. In fact, the only time I cook is when there are more than 50 people. It's a function, it's a get together.
Oh, okay.
I'm like a large scale cook.
So
I really hate cooking for 4 people and 2 people, and
Okay, great. So now, since you said you're not a great cook, does that impact in any way the family? Does anybody crib or cry that probably they're not getting the right kind of food on the table?
Yeah, they crib, and that's their problem. It's not a problem at all. They can crib. There's Swiggy, and there is. They can also learn to cook, and I don't encourage any such cribbing. My son cribs. Ma, I don't want the chapatis, the cook made, and it's in the hot case. I'm not going to eat. So I told him, don't eat. And then the next day onwards, he made his own chapatis. Right? So I want to raise a son.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I want to raise a son who can fall in love with a woman who is busy and empowered herself. And I don't want my son to go and say, did you make a hot chapati? Where is my chutney? Where is my biryani? No, I think the world is changing, and you need to create a space for equality, right?
Right?
Perfect. True. That's my attempt to always. I also try to do the same thing. In fact, that's the reason my kids also actually help me out at times with the household chores. Yes, they do. They don't really hesitate. They don't feel that it's not their job. So probably,
Absolutely.
yeah. So actually, I think when you have working mums, it becomes inevitable for the kids to be independent and to be able to appreciate what is done probably on the home front as well. Okay. Now, how are you able to manage your work-life balance, Sapna?
Work and life, is it? Balance? Actually, since I work from home, I'm at home most of the time. And I don't know if there is any need to strike a balance. It's my personal opinion, right? You can't work 9 to 5 and say I want to get the Star Employee Award of the Year, right? You can't want to be a great mom and a great homemaker and want to, do something else. Like you can be one at a time. So I want to always balance and say, where is my priority right now? What do I want to be doing? And so I always probably am giving a little more importance to one of the aspects of my life. So I'll tell you one story. So I can openly, very honestly tell you, I'm a very ambitious, career-oriented woman. I want to live my life completely the way I want. I want to trek. I want to travel the world. I want to facilitate. I want to meet the most amazing people. I want to see the most exotic places, right? However, there came a point in my life when I was working with IBM where my mom fell very sick. She was a cancer patient and she suffered for about 5 years. And there came a time when the doctor said she has very few days to live, right? That was the same period when I was having one of my biggest breaks in my career, where I was about to go to another country to be certified to be running a very, very big project. And then there's this dilemma of mom having few days to live, right? When I sat and thought about it, I asked myself, what is my priority? What matters the most, right? And that time I decided for me, my mother, she matters the most. And she's been given few days to live. I want to spend all of that with her. So I took a 2-month a sabbatical or whatever, and I was there with my mom 24/7. We laughed, we looked back at her life, and we just spent time with each other. And at that time it didn't matter, right? For me, balance was being with my mom. Balance was not chasing my dreams or traveling or my profession. So I always feel whenever the time for me to decide comes, what is my priority, I will sit down, center myself, and ask myself what is most important. So that gives me peace. Like wherever I am, I'm 100% into this. I don't want to be like all 25, 25, 25, 20.
Brilliant. That's so sweet. In fact, I think that is also a point to think for, I think, by many of us. Most of us actually try to compromise somewhere, strike a balance, or try to, as you rightly said, put your fingers everywhere, all across. And you put yourself in a very tight spot that way. This doesn't work, actually, when you don't.
Sure, and the other thing I want to tell people who are listening, or women, or even men who are saying, is there is no need to attach a guilt to what you are passionate about. There is no need to explain yourself to people why you do the things that you do, right? Why something matters the most to you. Because you have to impress yourself, you have to start living and being authentic to your consciousness. Because if there is a conflict there, then it will show up in all the relationships around you. But when people say you are truly involved in something and you do the things that you love, right? And when you allow yourself to shine, you also give people around you the permission to shine just the way you are.
Absolutely. You're right. And that is where I think that is what is very difficult for many, actually, Sapna, though it is very easily said, and it needs real guts to be able to, as you have said, to accept and to be very vocal about what your passion is. Even men aren't able to do that. It's not just about women. We talk about liberty of women empowerment, but some of the men also aren't able to do it. That's the sad truth of life.
So I was saying my heart goes out more to the men, because women at least still, we crib, we gossip, we cry. Then there is the PMS, then there is the, menstruation, and somewhere the physically you are releasing a lot of, stress in your life. But men have an image to maintain, right? And some age-old kind of things that people have said, men shouldn't cry, men don't gossip, and things like that. So there's a lot that they hold, Poor men, men, if you're watching, please cry and please gossip and just go have a great time. It's fine.
I think I should put this on the introduction front, actually. along with the introduction. Wonderful, actually. That's true. In fact, as you said, though we talk a lot about women empowerment, there are a lot of men who silently cry. Who are not able to
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
out what they think. And
Yes.
I have a series called Voices of Women too on my channel, but I think I will have to start one as Voices of Men too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, that sounds great. So now your mantra of life, Sapna.
Uh, so my mantra of life, I have two mantras. Okay, one is I always tell myself I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm best at what I do. That way, I don't get into this unhealthy competition with my own set of women. Right? That way, I'm not proving anything to anybody. Right? And when the parameter of success is impressing your own self, I feel you set a very high benchmark.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But if the parameter is to really impress other people, the benchmark is very low because you don't know what is success for them. Like for me, it could be something else, right? I had a yoga master.
Yes.
His name is Mr. Mahadevan Iyer. He is 87 and he taught me yoga, Hatha Yoga. I learned with him for 5-6 years.
Oh.
And one Guru Purnima, all the students in the class went and we wanted to offer him, our love and gratitude. So everyone went and fell on his feet and bless us and things like that. He said, all of you stand in the line and everybody will bend without, bending your knees. You will go grab your ankle and then you will put your head in between your knees. Now, a lot of them are struggling.
Okay.
They're not like, ow, they're not able to touch their feet, right? So he said, the real Guru Dakshina for me is if you have practiced every single day, it's not going to be difficult for you to bend and touch your own feet. So he says the point is not to touch my feet. If you can touch your own feet, that is what you have been authentic to the practice of yoga, right? So for me, it's just that, impress myself, know what is success for me, be deeply aware of where, what I can do and not really be comparing myself to anybody or competing in an unhealthy way. So that's one. And the other mantra I always believe is go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated.
That's a very good one, I would say. Excellent. That keeps your confidence going, in fact.
Yeah, if I'm tolerated, I want to make a humble exit and say, okay, fine. I don't want to be that, that kind of a nagging head in your voice. Oh my God, here she is. Like very respectful. I can move. Yeah.
Brilliant. That was brilliant, Sapna. In fact, you were so bubbly. I'm sure the viewers would love watching this. Before we wind up, Sapna, I would like you to actually, say that opening line that you say on radio once for our viewers too.
Okay.
You're watching radio or something. It goes something like that, I guess.
What is, yeah.
Hey guys, it's 1:40 on our laptop clocks and you're listening to a chat show by Swarna. It's called Straight from the Heart and this is an amazing show. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe her channel. I think Swarna is doing an absolutely amazing job.
Oh my, I think I should put it as a promo. Sounds good. Wonderful, Sapna. It was great talking to you. In fact, it was such a cheerful conversation, I tell you. It was like, I don't know. I'm totally pleased. Thank you for being on this show. It's great to know you. And I really hope that we are in touch in future too.
Yeah, and I'm really humble that you chose me to do this. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh no, my pleasure. All the way my pleasure. It was amazing to have you. I was just listening to you with both my ears. Complete concentration. I was trying to see the way you are conversing, the energy that you have, Sapna. I cannot reproduce that.
Yeah, you're doing brilliant yourself. You're such a wonderful.
The only reason this energy comes out is because the other person, gets this energy from me. Like you got that, you got me going. Right. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sapna. I really hope that's really true. I just wish it's really amazing.
Okay.
By now, you know I only speak the truth. Mostly. Yeah.
No, I know that. Of course, I know that. Right from day one, I knew that. In fact, Sapna, it's not just now. The first day I spoke to you, I could get that. In fact, I think that's made things much easier, as you say. It's the atmosphere and the people that you connect and the positive vibes that you send across that also, makes other person comfortable.
Thank you. I love you too.
I think this is the first time I'm doing this to a guest.
Yay! Very nice.
Seriously.
Maybe that'll be your new signature move on the next shows.
Oh, really? Okay.
Why not? Sending love.
Never thought about that so far. So that was Sapna Padmanabhan for all of you. I'm sure you loved watching her because I was totally in awe of her energy, her frankness, and her life mantras. If you did like the video, please do not forget to hit the like button, share the video as much as possible, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Your subscriptions are important to us. Stay tuned for our further videos. Bye bye and see you soon.